Good morning, everybody. Game Time Brian here, otherwise known as the mailman, coming from my mama's basement this morning. I'm off today. I hope everybody is having a good morning. I just got my. I went with a iced coffee this morning. I wasn't feeling warm coffee. I don't know. Don't ask me why, but want to do a video. I got a busy day ahead of me. I got to go to the Mark Holmes' favorite, well, one of his favorite stores, Lowe's. I got to get some grass seed, put some grass seed down. Got to go outside and clean the pool a little bit before I shut her down soon. But we got some stuff to talk about as we wrap up the preseason Saturday night at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. We got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to touch on the Cowboys stuff first, and then we'll get into some general NFL news that I think is kind of interesting to us. It's always the Cowboy related, but we cover the NFL as well. So first things first. I saw this late last night. Was not really happy with it. Surprise, surprise. Jerry Jones is upsetting me again. Nothing against DeMarcus, where I went to the Hall of Fame. We should have won a Super Bowl with DeMarcus in the Cowboy uniform. He deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. But why isn't Jimmy Johnson already in the Ring of Honor? Jimmy Johnson was inducted to the Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, a few years ago. And they supposedly mended fences, and it did what they did. But lo and behold, still nothing has happened. Still no Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. Obviously, there's more to the story. That Jerry is not going to open the door and let him be in the Ring of Honor. I'm not sitting here saying that Jimmy could have won a Super Bowl without Jerry, because that's not fair. Jimmy went on to Miami, did not win a Super Bowl. They worked perfectly together. They brought the best out of each other. And so I'm not going to say that Jimmy won it all by himself. It took Jerry Jones and Jimmy working together. When they both realized that, like I said, I don't know. I can't just bury Jerry, but I'm not happy. They're both getting up there. Jerry's, 80 now? And Jimmy is a year younger, maybe 79, I want to say. I think we're going down the road to where Jimmy Johnson will be in the Hall of Fame after he passes away, and most likely after Jerry passes away. Unless there's something with Jerry Jones where he said, when I die, you're not allowed to put Jimmy in a Ring of Honor for a period of time. But I think it'll be a posthumous Ring of Honor induction, and that's sad, because Jerry, you would not have won those 3 Super Bowls without Jimmy Johnson. That's the bottom line. He needs to be in the Ring of Honor. That's arguably the biggest dynasty ever to play in the NFL in the Super Bowl era, or arguably. I know I'll get the trolls, but if Jimmy was there, now the way Jimmy was, he was 24/7, so I think he would have burnt out. He was already starting to burn out. He never really had a family life when he was coaching the Cowboys. I think his marriage suffered because of that. But yeah, I don't know how long it could have went for, but we should have definitely won in 94. And so I'm looking, and then obviously we won in 95 under Barry Switzer. I'm thinking we definitely would have won 4 in a row. I don't know how much after that, but still, it was a. I think that's, and Mark Holmes did touch on it. I think like the gods are not aligning for the Cowboys as long as this is not handled properly. I just think that we're gonna win a Super Bowl despite the bad karma to Jerry Jones. Now Jerry Jones could laugh this off and say I'm BS, but things happen, man. Things happen. But not happy with Jerry Jones. I really, really wish he would just take a deep breath, make a phone call, and get it done. I mean, it needs to happen. The fact that DeMarcus Ware is going in is great, but he should not be going in ahead of Jimmy Johnson. But whatever, not happy. Just wanted to voice my opinion. But I want to move on to some other news. It seems like this is Camp ACL here. We already lost DeMarvion Overshone, and we lost John Stevens. Overshone is the big loss. I'm not going to lie. But John Stevens, I'm hearing that he was going to make the team. So use that as you will. I don't know. I'm thinking he would have too, which means they probably would have tried to get McKeon on the practice squad. But that's, at this point, it's all moot because he's out with an ACL. And yet another wide receiver, David Durden. Oh, yeah, David Durden, free agent. Big boy, fast, raw. He tore his ACL at yesterday's practice. He came down on Trayvon Diggs' foot. He's an unrestricted free agent receiver that I wanted to get on the practice squad. He wasn't a threat to make the 53, but just wanted to bring that news to you. He's out with an ACL too. So as much as I hated the Seattle field, and that per Nick Eatman before the game at DallasCowboys.com, the field was horrendous. It was like playing on the concrete. There was it was just bad. Now, I'm not saying it was Vet Stadium bad with the seams, but Vet Stadium was like playing on concrete too. And either my Eagle followers do know that Vet Stadium was a rough place to play, but the field was horrible on your body. So remember the Chicago Bear wide receiver who went up to make a catch and blew both ACLs on the same play. Yeah, so, not good. Not good at all that we lost yet another one, but he's a guy that wasn't going to make the team anyway. The last Cowboy bit of news I want to talk to is Zeke Elliott has come out and listen. Or no, we can't. They forget about the elephant in the room. We will get to Sam Williams. But Zeke Elliott has come out and said he feels real comfortable and at home in New England. What's he going to say? He ain't going to trash Dallas. If anybody's looking for Zeke Elliott to trash the Dallas Cowboys, you're kidding yourself. He made close to $70 million with Dallas. You see where the running back market is going. He probably lays his head on his pillow every night and thanks his lucky stars that he was drafted by the Cowboys. I don't think that it would have worked with the new system. I just don't. I actually am rooting for Zeke. It kills me that we got to play him this year because I wanted at least a year removed. But we've touched on that. But I wish Zeke nothing but the best. I got my fantasy draft on Sunday. Maybe I'll pick him up late rounds, Get that little Zeke karma. I don't know. But wish him well. I'm glad he's feeling comfortable and he likes his coaching staff. I don't think he's the type of guy who's going to trash Dallas. There's no reason to trash Dallas. He signed the contract that put the $16 million in the final year. That he wanted the upfront money. That was the way Dallas did it. He signed off on it. You had to know that when you signed that deal, Zeke, you were never going to see the final year. So It is what it is. Zeke, let's go week one, baby, against them birds. Right? Let's go, baby. But last a Cowboy order of business is young Sam Williams was arrested. He's arrested on marijuana and gun charges. So it's not the best of news, especially following up his high-speed wreck in his Corvette from last year. I believe it was a Corvette. Um, and it was either his real young brother or nephew was in the car. Thank God nobody got seriously hurt. But this is what we were talking about with the immaturity with Jalen Carter with the Eagles. So far, Jalen Carter has been a model citizen. Sam Williams would have been a first round talent. Absolutely would have been a first round talent um, if he did not have these character concerns. That's just a fact. But he went in the second round. He's really looking good. Um, Mike Fisher says he's not going to see any jail time. I mean, any suspension anytime soon. But Jerry Jones is being oblivious to the whole thing, laughing it off. It's not a laughing matter, Jerry. Now, both of these issues are misdemeanors, okay? But the problem is, in the state of Texas, that if you use a vape pen slash THC vape pen, it elevates everything. We could sit here and say whatever we want, but that's their laws. Carrying a gun is a misdemeanor in the state of Texas. Hell, I was in Dallas last June, and the company I was with had you know, I mean, he was allowed to carry. So anywhere we went in a car, we had a loaded gun right there. It's legal. But when you add in the vape pen, that's the thing. You could have had marijuana, but the fact that it was in a vape pen, and it's a little ridiculous, but this is not this guy's first issue. He has to grow up, think about what he's doing before he does it. I don't care. Marijuana's not a big deal. I could care less. I could care less. I really would rather you legally own a gun, meaning, apply for the permit, learn how to shoot it, take classes, be a legal gun owner. But that, in the state of Texas, even that's not that big a deal. But to put both of them together, that's the issue. Now, is he going to ultimately get a suspension by the NFL? I think so. Jerry Jones can laugh it off all he wants. Roger Goodell will come after him because he's a Cowboy. You saw what happened to Zeke. Make no mistake, he'll get at least a game or two. Maybe not this year. You know that his attorneys and the DA are going to plea it down to very minor. It's not a big deal, but when you look to the person, you realize there's more going on here. He needs to grow up. He's a nice kid. I'm not saying he's not, but his decision making isn't the best. So, but you know that his attorney and the DA, they'll get it knocked down to probation. He'll probably have to do a course, a safety course, maybe some community service, whatever. This will go away, but the NFL has the authority, per the collective bargaining agreement, to do whatever the heck they want. And it is what it is. It won't amount to much, but he has a decision to make going forward in his career. Do you want to be a football player? Especially for the Dallas Cowboys, where, the microscope is on you. So I'm not saying that he wouldn't have gotten pulled over in other states. Other states are worse, believe it or not, for that very offense. So Sam Williams, please, this is strike two. I'm not saying we're getting rid of you at strike three, because if you're a good player in this league, just look back to Jimmy Johnson and back in the day. If you're a good player, you can get away with certain things. So we'll leave that at that. We won't revisit the White House and all that. But Sam Williams needs to have a wake-up call. I hope that his teammates are talking to him. It's not funny, Jerry. There's nothing funny about it. The dude needs to grow up. But that's what I got for the Cowboys. But I do want to touch on a few things. Corey Davis, New York Jets. I've been watching the Hard Knocks, and he's had a great camp. So, and he's a very talented, receiver. But after 6 NFL seasons, he has announced his retirement. Now, I don't know if he's going through health issues, maybe something at home, or he didn't say retirement, but he's stepping away. That's how I took it. He says he's leaving the Jets. I don't know that he officially said the word it's retirement, but he doesn't plan to come back. So to me, that's retirement. But shout out to Corey Davis. I think he's an unbelievable talent. I know this game, everybody is different, I'll just leave it at that. Everybody's different. Everybody handles being hit. But make no mistake, you see what they're doing with these new padded Guardian helmet things that they wear on top of their helmets. It really has helped the concussions. It's brought them down by like 60% just in training camp alone. There's less players missing time because they're wearing the Guardian protection. Maybe Corey Davis. Listen, the NFL, man. NFL is rough. Remember they used to do the NFL Crunch Course, or, they would do all that. And we used to watch. He got jacked up, on ESPN. It's a rough, man, and everybody handles it different. Just look at Tua. Tua, my man, his career is on the brink at this point. If he suffers another bad a concussion, there could be some issues. He might be done. So everybody's body handles it different. Troy Aikman said he thinks he's had well over 30 concussions playing in the NFL. Just think about that, people. Now, I have had the privilege of being on the sideline in college, in like high-level college football. I've been close, but I haven't been on the sideline for an NFL game. But it literally is like a train wreck each hit. It's actually everybody on, like, you watch it on TV and you go, oh man, it's a great. Don't get me wrong, it's the best game. It really is the best game. I think the officiating is getting in the way of NFL football these days, but that aside, it's still the best game that we have, in my opinion. But man, it's so violent, and it is actually, if you're on the sideline and you hear the noises from the field, it's downright brutal. It is like gladiators out there going up against each other. So, not to get into a long diatribe about the physicality of the NFL, we all know they signed up for it. That's why they're making the money. That's why they're not paying the running backs what they should be paying them. Whatever. A shout out to Corey Davis. I hope you get your stuff together, man. I hope life brings you happiness. Let's just put it that way. And if we see you again, then we see you again. He's young enough that we may see him again. But wish you well, Corey Davis. My next order of business here is laughable to me. I don't know what he's going to say, but it's the left hand up Washington Commanders for now. We'll go with the Commanders for now. We don't know what ultimately it's going to be. There's over 100,000 signatures to go back to the Redskins. Things are leaning in that direction, believe it or not. Who would have thought in this cancel culture society that we would go back to it? I'll believe it when I see it. But Ron Rivera has come out, and he said that he feels really comfortable naming Sam Howell as their starting quarterback.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh. Really, Ron Rivera? You felt really comfortable starting Carson Wentz in Week 17 last year instead of playing eyebrows with Tyler Heineke, and you would have won the game if you did so, and guess what? You would have been in the playoffs. So, Ron Rivera, you should be. I'm surprised that the new ownership hadn't gotten rid of you. I like you, Hall of Fame player. You've made some poor decisions with the left-hand up Commanders. So the fact that you're coming out now, who else do you have? You have to go with Sam Howell. But I got news for you. There's a book on Sam Howell now. Okay? It's just like Brock Purdy ain't going to have as good a year. Book it. He ain't going to have as good a year. I'm just telling you now. NFL defenses aren't going to allow it. That's just it. There's going to, just like, in my opinion, Jalen Hurts is not going to be able to run up the middle like he was last year. If I'm a team, I'm going to get burnt, beat me on the outside, make the throw. I'm coming after you. I'm collapsing the pocket and coming after you. I know they have the best offensive line, yada, yada, but that's just how I'm looking at it. But, Ron Rivera has no better option than Sam Howell. So I don't really understand your stance there. So ridiculous. Yeah. No duh. Moving on. The Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know what they're doing with this man, but far be it from me to complain about what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing, because all they do is get to the Super Bowl and win Super Bowls. You know what I mean? So, but Chris Jones, their all-pro, all-everything defensive end, said he's willing to hold out till week 8. And the coach, Andy Reid, says he hasn't talked to him. Now, I say if that was a Dallas Cowboy and a Dallas Cowboy situation, this would be a public enemy. I mean, Mike McCarthy would be public enemy number 1, okay? Everybody would be like, just imagine that if Micah Parsons or if, I would say Micah Parsons because Chris Jones is their best defensive player. So that's why I'm using Micah. I'm not saying he's as good as Micah. If Micah wasn't there, then maybe D-Law. But, for the sake of the argument, let's go with Micah. If that was us, what do you think would be going on? I don't know what's going on. If he needs to be paid. This man has single-handedly helped you win those Super Bowls just as much, if not more than, I'm not going to say more than Mahomes, but they don't have a lot of big names on that defense. He's the one big name. Very surprised that they're doing that to Chris Jones, but this is a new NFL. Really is a new NFL. Moving down, let's move to the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number 1. Yeah, remember that? They used to do the Houston Oilers, Miami Dolphins. Anyway, I used to kind of like the Dolphins a little bit as my AFC team. Jonathan Taylor, he has sought the Indianapolis Colts have allowed him to seek a trade. Now, anytime that happens, that's beep, 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 beep. Nobody's going to give you a first-round pick for Jonathan Taylor. You see what's going on here. You see what's going on in the NFL. Nobody wants to franchise you. Dallas did it. Josh Jacobs, I think he just signed it with the Raiders. Saquon, he signed it, and they threw a little bit of bonuses because Saquon realized he had no leverage in the situation. But Jonathan Taylor wants out. Now, there's a fake report, and yes, Eagle fans, it's fake. Eagles are not interested in Jonathan Taylor. If I were the Colts, I would trade him for a number 2. You're not going to get a number. If you don't want to pay him, this is how it works, people. You can't, you're not supposed to give up a number 1 and then have to pay huge money for a player as well. It's one or the other. So if I'm taking on Jonathan Taylor and re-upping him, I'm not giving up a number 1 pick. We've already decreased the value of running backs just in this offseason alone. But there is a team who has come out and said, as long as we're not asking for a number 1, money isn't the problem. We'll make it work. The Miami Dolphins want Jonathan Taylor. So If it's me, if he does get traded, look for it to be the Dolphins. It was a fake report about the Eagles, just like Ezekiel Elliott going to the Eagles. The Eagles are the new Cowboys, and when anybody is released, it's go to the Eagles. And shout out to the Eagles. Howie Roseman, that's the one thing he does do good is contracts and trades. Not so much drafting, but listen, Twiz, Philly D, Logan Motorsports, if you give me a top 10 pick, I could friggin' pick it. So it's not like he did such a great job with Jalen Carter. He was my number one rated guy on the board. Immature, but that was my number one rated guy. He had to take him. He sat there at the 31st pick and took the defensive end out of Georgia. Again, that was a smart move. He fit your scheme perfect. He shouldn't have been there. Hell of a job, but one like he really thought about it. It's the later round picks that he normally, But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the Eagles. So look for the Miami Dolphins, if he is traded, to be the team. Just my opinion. Dallas sure as heck ain't going to do it. I wish we would, only because I think we need something else. After this latest rash of just, I know the players may not be feeling it, but us fans, it's like a kind of kick in the gut. Our best player in the preseason, non-starter that is, was overshown, and now he's out for the year. We had a tight end who came out of nowhere. Jonathan Stevens was looking unbelievable. Out for the year. So it's like a little bit kick in the gut. I'm a little worried about our running game in December, but it is what it is. Next order of business, I got two more things I want to touch on and then get my butt out of here. I got to get to I think I'm going to go to Lowe's. But Trey Lance. Trey Lance has been relegated to number 3 quarterback in San Francisco. I would say this about Trey Lance. Feel bad for the kid, but he did have his opportunity, but playing for Mike Shanahan may not be a perfect fit for him. They named Sam Darnold number 2. Think they're going to try and trade him. He did go to North Dakota State, and Trey Lance is from Marshall, Minnesota. So the perfect fit there would be the Minnesota Vikings. I don't believe that the Vikings are going to re-sign Kirk Cousins. He's in the final year. Kirk Cousins will be gone. He'll be playing for somebody next year. I doubt he'll retire, even though he made unbelievable amount of money. So that would be the perfect fit. I'd like to see Trey Lance with Minnesota. But if Minnesota doesn't want to pull the trigger, come over to Dallas. Come over to Big D. I'm not a big Will Grier guy, but hey, he could be our third quarterback. I'm not the biggest Nick Cooper Rush guy. Yeah, Cooper Rush is a good bus driver, but I don't know how many plays he's actually going to make. He won't hurt you, which is what you want in the backup, but hey, I'll take Trey Lance as a number 3. I absolutely will. Yeah, that's what I would do. So he's only 23 years old. So Minnesota, if I were you, I would make a deal for him. You may have to give up a 5th or a 6th. I don't think you have to give much more than that for a guy that is number 3 on your depth chart, San Fran, but I don't know for sure. But a quick programming note, don't forget, me and my partner, Primetime Phil, are going to be live streaming during the final preseason game on Saturday night at 8 p.m. We'll probably go on a little earlier, like always, maybe 7:45. We'll go live, and we'll talk about the Cowboys, and pretty much all things NFL. But yeah, we will talk Cowboys. It's they're home against the Las Vegas Raiders. I still can't get used to saying the Las Vegas, against Raiders. But I guess I should get used to the word Las Vegas, right? since that's what the Super Bowl is this year. Yeah, baby. I'm riding it. I'm riding that Super Bowl wave. I think this is our year. But, everybody should think that now, right? But yeah, don't forget me and Primetime Phil at 8 p.m. on Primetime Phil, brought to you by Primetime Studios. Looking forward to do the last preseason game. Looking forward to see listen, I think most of the battles have been decided. I really do. What I would say is, because of injury, there's not many spots available. Now, the fact that we lost David Durden is not good because we don't want to play Jalen Brooks. I want Jalen Brooks on the 53. I don't think he's going to make it to the practice squad, but I always say that. And maybe with this new cut down policy where all the cuts are happening this Tuesday, next Tuesday, all the cuts, one big cut. Thank God, because you're not going to have to expose guys who you have playing in that first week. So we shall see. Looking forward to working with Prime Time on a Saturday night. So yes, you could see me there. Make sure you check us out. I will definitely have more videos prior to. I'm back to work tomorrow, so I'll probably bring a live tomorrow, my lunchtime chat. That would be my Friday lunchtime chat, so look out for that, normally around 2:30 Eastern time. So with that being said, I am out. Game Time Brian, coming from my mama's basement, is out. I got about 4 or 5 things I need to do today. It looks like it's going to rain, so I need to get my butt moving. Everybody, please take care. Have a cool day. Late.